जय गुरुजी. Thank you गुरुजी. गुरुजी का बहुत बहुत शुक्राना as always. और सुरेश अंकल का शुक्राना. He reached out to me with the seva of doing Guruji's Gungan. And I know he's created this medium, this forum. It's a multilingual forum. Just say, his intent is कि गुरुजी के नाम की जोत हर घर में जले, regardless of your caste, creed, your location, your religion. It's about humanity. It's about spreading Guruji's love, Guruji's light across one and all. So thank you for giving me the seva, uncle. Guruji का गुणगान करना मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है और it's an honor, it's a privilege. So शुरू करते हैं. गुरुजी का बखान करना, उनकी महिमा का गुणगान करना जितना सरल है उतना ही मुश्किल है, बिकॉज हमें वो सही अल्फाज नहीं मिलते जिससे हम अपने गुरु की महिमा का बखान कर सके. और गुरुजी इज लाइक अ फिनोमेना, राइट? Everybody has, one-to-one direct connection. His ways of giving kalyan are very unique, and it's not one size fits all. And hence, couple ground rules that we have to understand. There's never a coincidence in Guruji's darbar. Second, never ever try to compare, even amongst families, कि oh वो ज़्यादा blessed है या मैं कम blessed हूँ, or comparing durations of a spiritual journey, because हमें कुछ नहीं पता. So he's our guru, he's our teacher, he's a spiritual guide, and he is be all and all. What we need to do is, first of all, congratulate ourselves that he handpicked our souls, and we have earned the right to call ourselves his Sangat. And with that comes this extra responsibility. And why I say that is because we need to understand Guruji's teachings, Guruji's modus operandi, which is very, very simple and yet very hard for us to follow. So अपनी journey के बारे में मैं थोड़ा सा share करना चाहूँगी. There are certain personal experiences that I've had with Guruji, and the unending learnings that and the teachings that we get through those experiences, which I believe, help us evolve every single day. And I think that's the ultimate goal, that we want to become a better version of ourselves with each passing second of our lives and make this life worthwhile. Because Guruji इतना हमें प्यार करते हैं, unconditionally प्यार करते हैं, हम उनको कुछ देने के काबिल भी नहीं है, सिवाय इतना कि हम इस चीज का ध्यान रखें कि as his Sangat, what is it that our guru would expect from us? Being good, doing good, not harming, not hurting anybody, helping unconditionally wherever, whenever, however we can. Very simple things, but we fumble and we stumble and we fail on a daily basis. But anyway, I think it's about slow progression on a daily basis. So in late 90s, I had the good fortune of being invited into Guruji's darbar, and there was no social media. There were no WhatsApp groups, no Facebook pages. It was strictly by word of mouth. My dad had been hearing about Guruji since early 90s, and जब वक़्त नहीं होता तुम नहीं जा सकते. Even despite hearing about Guruji, he was back in Jalandhar. Early 90s में नहीं मिलना हो पाया. Our meeting happened when he was in Empire State. And let me tell you that he was a very unconventional guru. He sat in a beautiful robe on a red singhasan, and I think he was wearing a light pink chola. The noor, the radiance, the glow, on his face, I cannot describe. And the feeling I had was that, मैं किसी इंद्रलोक में पहुंच गई हूँ. मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा था कि मैं कौन सी जगह में हूँ, क्यों यहाँ पर हूँ. शबद बानी चल रही थी, पंजाबी भी कम समझ आती थी. बट इतना मैं आपको बता सकती हूँ कि उस जगह में इतना सुकून, इतना पीस, and there was this feel good factor about that place, and that his aura was like a magnetic pull. कि there was something about that place. हालांकि I did not understand, I could not even fathom कि we're face to face with Mahashiv. और ये इस बात समझते समझते आई थिंक ओवर अ डेकेड निकल गया. बट इतना मैं आपको बता सकती हूँ फ्रॉम डे वन दैट देयर वाज समथिंग अबाउट दैट प्लेस दैट यू नेवर वांटेड टू लीव. और ऐसे लगता था कि while you are there, it's the same life, the same people, the same issues, the same struggles. But while you're sitting there, there is, you're protected in a cocoon. And I had the same feeling. So my first interaction was, पंजाबी में उन्होंने नाम पूछा और हमें बिठा लिया सामने. संगत बहुत कम होती थी. So it was mom, dad, my sister Pooja and me. और भर भर के हमें प्रसाद अपने हाथों से दिया. कभी लड्डू, कभी जलेबी, कभी अमृति. और शब्द बानी चल रही थी और बहुत ही अच्छा कोजी इनवाइटिंग सा माहौल था. संगत आसपास बैठी थी. गुरुजी के को हाथ दबा रहा था, कोई पांव दबा रहा था. और ओकेजनली बीच में गुरुजी ने इशारा करके किसी को बोला सत्संग शेयर करो. सो कोई रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस, कोई प्रचार, कोई डिस्कोर्स, कुछ नहीं वहां बताया जाता था. वी वुड जस्ट सिंपली फॉलो द सेवादार्स और फॉलो व्हाटएवर पीपल अराउंड अस आर डूइंग. ना हमें प्रसाद की अहमियत पता था, ये ना शब्द कीर्तन, कुछ भी नहीं. सो गुरुजी ने प्रसाद दिया. सिस्टम उस टाइम ये था कि आप प्रसाद हाथ में लो. जो गुरुजी एक हाथ से प्रसाद देते थे वो हमारे दोनों हाथों में फिट नहीं आता था. प्रसाद लेकर बाहर जाओ, बाहर ही पानी पी कर आओ, खत्म कर आओ, वापस आके बैठ जाओ. एंड वी डिड द सेम थिंग. So one night prior to us going, my parents had gone, and उससे एक रात, the first time they went, my mom also got भर कर प्रसाद, and she's heavily diabetic. So science और logic तो यही कहती है ना कि मीठा खाओगे तो मरोगे. If you are a sugar patient, you have to control your diet. और मीठा ही नहीं, मीठे की भरमार वहां पर पहले दिन पे मिली. And for a newbie, it's nerve-wracking because तुम्हें लगता है कि oh my god, this is a recipe for disaster. And we are human beings. We are designed with a lot of if and but, and we believe we have a logical mind. So we question the status quo, and we're saying, oh my god, ये मिठाई पे मिठाई मिल रही है, मेरी तो आफत आ जाएगी. But our Guruji is amazing, and he loves to fail the logic. He loves to fail our ifs and buts, and he loves, I feel where science ends, his divinity begins, and you have to experience it yourself. And I think in the last 22 years, I have seen science and logic fail left, right, and center. So, शुगर पेशेंट ने भर भर के मिठाइयाँ खाई, फ्राइड चीजें खाई, अगले दिन जाके शुगर टेस्ट कराई, वो नॉर्मल थी. अब माथा ठनकता है कि ऐसी क्या बात है इस जगह में. So, घर में हम यही चीज खाएं या पानी भी पिए तो वो लग जाता है, और यहाँ पर इतना प्रसाद खा रहे हैं तब भी कुछ नहीं हो रहा. सो आहिस्ता आहिस्ता समझ में आया कि गुरुजी के साथ उनके हाथ का दिया हुआ प्रसाद अगर हम ग्रहण करें तो वो हमारे लिए दवाई है. आज भी अगर आप गुरुजी को भोग लगा के लंगर का सेवन करते हैं, दैट इज मेडिसिन फॉर योर बॉडी. सो लंगर की ये मानता है. आप किसी भी और धाम में चले जाएं, go to वैष्णो माता, people will have राजमा चावल, have a few bites, throw it out. लेकिन गुरुजी के दरबार में हम लंगर चाट के खाते थे कि एक कण भी उसका ना बचे. चाहे मिर्ची हो, चाहे तीखा हो, चाहे तेल हो, जो मर्जी हो, इट इज हिज ब्लेसिंग. प्लीज उसको पूरी तरह से ग्रहण कीजिए. दूसरा जो शब्द कीर्तन का मैं आपको बताती हूँ, पंजाबी में चलता था, एंड गुरुजी वाज वेरी फॉन्ड ऑफ पंजाबी म्यूजिक. तो अक्सर लंगर के टाइम ही वुड प्ले पंजाबी फोक सॉन्ग्स, जो थोड़ा सा कभी कभी अजीब भी लगता था, बिकॉज you have this stereotype of how a guru is supposed to look like, or what a guru is supposed to do. And he was not dressed up like that traditional guru. He was young, he was modern, he was unconventional, he was very practical, very well read, very well informed, had a great sense of humor. और हमें लगता है कि ठीक है हम शिव जी को मान जाएंगे, लेकिन relating to a human being in this Kalyug, our scientific mind really doesn't allow that initially. And all of us come with a lot of questions, and so did I. As a teenager, my mind was impressionable, and I was never hesitant to ask or question things that are done. I also want to tell you all that it's an individual journey. Even if you come with your family, you come with your parents, you come with your spouse, you come with your kids, it is your individual one-to-one connect with your guru, and based on your previous karmas or whatever, it's, think of it this way, that Guruji is our teacher, and it's really up to him कि हमें वो किस क्लास में दाखिला देते हैं, कब देते हैं. We don't have to understand, but we have to accept. And we don't have to even question कि, who's in kindergarten versus who's doing post-graduation. Doesn't matter. The important thing is that we are part of his institution, and that's what makes us very special, and that's what makes us so protected. So, so that was that. Day one, शब्द चल रहे थे, वो भी आहिस्ता आहिस्ता समझ में आया that Guruji would say that मैंने तुम लोगों को शब्द सुनने को कहा है, समझने को नहीं कहा है. और वही मैं आपको बता रही हूँ ना, that he was such a mind reader कि किसी से बात किए बगैर, किसी से कुछ पूछे बगैर आपको आपके सवालों का जवाब ऐसे मिल जाता था that you used to yourself be flabbergasted कि ये कैसे हो गया, that I walked in thinking about this and here's my answer. शब्द के थ्रू मिल जाता है, कि सत्संग के थ्रू आपको आंसर मिल जाता है. And this is his beauty. And that's why, we are very lucky that we are, under his fold. He's so practical and he is so amazing कि हम शायद समझ ही नहीं सकते कि हम किसकी छत्र छाया के नीचे बैठे हैं. और कलयुग में ना भगवान मिलना बहुत आसान है. अदरवाइज अगर आप सतयुग में के बारे में थोड़ा पढ़ो या सुनो या शिव पुराण पढ़ो, it's full of rituals, and I think that is the reason why Guruji would tell us कि शिव पुराण पढ़ा करो, so that we can understand and appreciate what our Guru is doing for us. Read the Shiv Puran versus the light of divinity, and you will see how Guruji has made getting blessings for us so easy. So, faith के बारे में बात करते हैं. Faith is a very personal thing. और faith build होता है खुद के experiences से. मैं यहाँ 1 घंटा बैठकर आपको भाषण दे सकती हूँ. Unless you experience something yourself, it is not going to make sense. And this is where I think Guruji takes the time to work on each one of us on a one-to-one, on a very individual basis. Because he knows our levels, he knows, our karmas, and just know that we are in his sharan, so that he can help us expiate our karmas and move on to the, higher journey and move towards salvation. Never ever lose sight of that. Because we are so consumed in this everyday material world, responding to people, dealing with this rat race that we are in, that we forget about the onward journey and the bigger purpose in our life. And that's why we need a guru. So, faith, मेरा कैसा build होना शुरू हुआ. रोज जाते थे और अच्छा लगता था. So one was the feel good factor, that you're there for the sake of being there because it feels nice. Second is, you start hearing satsangs, and sometimes those satsangs used to sound very unrealistic because one, people are sharing very intimate things in a small setting. Nothing was being recorded or broadcasted. So I guess कि, अगर हम 40 लोग बैठे हैं and somebody is sharing a satsang, that is meant for those 40 people. So we would hear satsangs about, an auntie having babies without a uterus, and it used to be mind-blowing कि ये हो कैसे सकता है. And then, seeing people, the who's who, literally page 3 celebrities being there, sitting there, who had access to every single resource that we can possibly imagine, yet sitting there to get something that they could not get from the world over. Okay, that was actually pretty eye-opening. We've seen people who've come literally paralyzed, being escorted by 4 people, to those people just consuming langar prasad, listening to the Shabad Kirtan, and being able to dance in front of Guruji. This is his blessing. And I mentioned his unique ways, right? One-to-one, he would sometimes tell people कि हनुमान चालीसा पढ़ ले, या शिव पुराण पढ़ ले, या इतने चने लेकर बहा दे, या फिर गुरुजी का फेमस ऑपरेशन जो वो बीटल लीफ, पान का पत्ता और चम्मच के साथ करते थे, किसी की आंखों में अपना ब्लड डालना. So it was very, very one-to-one. Again, I keep saying it's not one size fits all. But the general modus operandi was langar prasad, Shabad Kirtan, satsangs, which is globally applicable. And there is a reason for everything. I explained the significance of langar prasad. I also told you about shabads, right? It is, think of it as food for your soul. Even if you don't understand a lot of Punjabi, which I did not, there would be a certain sentence or paragraph which would jump out at me when it was really meant for me. Say I have a question or there's a thought going on in my mind, and then I will get tuned to this particular paragraph in a shabad that is really an answer to my questions. Satsangs jo hum karte hain, satsangs never used to happen on an everyday basis, but kabhi randomly, Guruji ki mauj hoti thi to Guruji ऐसे इशारा करते थे, शब्द बंद हो जाते थे, and then he would literally call somebody and would say सत्संग सुना. And let me tell you, जब गुरुजी शब्द बंद कराते थे ना, हम सब ऐसे करके बैठ जाते थे कि ओ गॉड हमें ना खड़ा करवा दें, हमें ना बोलना पड़े. Such fun times. So सत्संग्स हम इसलिए करते हैं ताकि ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों को गुरुजी की महिमा के बारे में पता चले. गुरुजी की का गुणगान करने से हमारे खुद के कर्म करते हैं. गुरुजी is in no need of our marketing. Guruji is not looking for recognition. Guruji is doing this to help us, to help you and I. जैसे हमने गुरुजी का दरबार देखा, हमने इतना फायदा उठाया, तो ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों को इसके बारे में पता चले. ये हमारी सेवा है. एक बार हमने गुरुजी के बारे में बता दिया, उसके बाद it is between that particular individual and Guru Sahib himself. आपको बीच में पढ़ने की कोई जरूरत नहीं, चाहे वो आपका बेटा हो, चाहे बेटी हो, चाहे हस्बैंड हो, चाहे वाइफ हो. You've done your part. आपने गुरु जी का दर का रास्ता दिखा दिया. वो कितना जुड़ते हैं, कब जुड़ते हैं, किस माध्यम से जुड़ते हैं, not our problem. So I covered the three S's, right? Now, talking about questioning the status quo. So a lot of things that used to happen there, I would question कि गुरुजी के हाथ पांव दबाने की क्या जरूरत है, और satsangs ka I already covered that why are people asked to share something so personal and so intimate. And then the third thing was that the crowd that I used to see in Empire State was really the creme de la creme of Delhi. The technocrats, the bureaucrats, the top defense officials. तो मेरे को लगता था कि if he's really God, then where are the needy people? Because everyone that I see in his darbar seems to be fairly well-to-do. Again, perceptions, right? And our shallow thinking. So how Guruji addressed that for me personally was that I think in 2000 or 2001, randomly he planned a trip to Dugri, and he told all of us, select few, maybe about 30 odd people, कि चलो मेरे साथ डुगरी चलो. And we had the good fortune to visit his home. Mataji was there, Bapuji was there with Guruji. And in Punjab, I saw a completely different facet of his Sangat. So my perception of, only the creme de la creme comes to Guruji was shattered right there. And there was so much love and there was so much respect. And then somebody just said, कि ओ हमारे Guru Sahib is so kind, हमारे Guruji, and in Punjab, some people refer to him as Baba Ji, कि इतनी मेहर है कि जब हम उनके पास नहीं आ सकते तो वो हमारे पास आ जाते हैं. And there I got my answer कि नहीं, Guruji के दरबार में everybody is welcome. And that's the reason why Guruji used to insist that 4 people should share langar in one thali and eat together. Everything that Guruji institutionalized had a reason, and it was so practical and so beautiful, because he did not pay any attention to your caste, your creed, your economic strata. For him, you're coming together as one Guru Parivar, and it doesn't matter whether you're sitting with your family or not sitting with your family. You can be a wealthy politician eating or sharing langar with your driver, because at the end of the day, it is all about humanity in his darbar, and in the most practical way, he taught us that. So, and this also, helps us keep our ego in check, which is, which in this date and age can be a big detriment to our spiritual evolution. So, I started to believe that there is so much more to this place when one time, I had gone to seek his blessings. We used to go every day. मतलब 7 बजते थे, जितने मर्जी थके हों कॉलेज के बाद, ऐसा लगता था कि वहाँ जरूर जाना है. और अगर किसी दिन सोच भी लो कि आज नहीं जाएंगे, कुछ तो कुछ ऐसा होता था that we used to end up just sitting in his दरबार. और इतना भी आपको बता दूं कि जितना मर्जी आप थके होते थे, जब गुरुजी छुट्टी देने लगते थे ना, ऐसे लगता था कि तुम कहीं छुप जाओ और तुम्हें ना घर भेजे, बस बैठे रहे. There used to be nights जब 11 बजे छुट्टी मिल जाती थी. There used to be nights जब हम 3-4 बजे तक बैठे रहते थे, and we used to enjoy that so much. So मैं उनसे ब्लेसिंग्स लेने गई और मेरे इकोनॉमिक्स का एग्जाम था. तो इकोनॉमिक्स मेरे को पसंद नहीं थी, मेरे को अकाउंटेंसी बहुत पसंद थी, अकाउंट्स. सो आई डिड मत्था टेक टू गुरुजी और बड़ी हिम्मत जुटाकर मैंने गुरुजी को बोला कि गुरुजी मेरा ना कल इकोनॉमिक्स का एग्जाम है. सो with his kind and beautiful radiant smile, he looked at me and he started asking me questions on economics. Guruji was a double MA and fluent in multiple languages. Most of you may not know that. So he asked me questions on elasticity, demand and supply, और एक क्वेश्चन पूछे, उसके बाद दूसरा पूछे, उसके बाद तीसरा पूछे, और मेरे को लगे कि before I could answer, he was asking me the next question and the next, and I just thought that he's not even interested in hearing my responses, then why is he trying to test my knowledge? So there was this auntie who was sitting and pressing his feet. So she said, "Beta, note karo, ye aapko aapka question paper bata rahe hain." And my jaw dropped. I was like, wow. So I took a mental note of those questions. I studied those questions, and the next day, believe you me, I got the same questions, same topics, and I was able to pass this economics exam with distinction. To me, that was a game changer, because as a student, there was nothing more important to me than academics. Another thing that I mentioned to you was that हाथ पांव दबाने की प्रथा. So जब गुरुजी आपको घुटने का या दबाने का मौका देते थे, that is again medication for you. If Guruji is asking you to press his head, maybe he's curing migraine or some headache or some issue with your head. If he's asking you to press his hands and feet, again, that's a blessing for you, not for him. We have seen Guruji take upon himself लोगों की बीमारियां, terminal diseases, और Guruji, संगत का कष्ट लेते थे, because physical form में limitations होते हैं. आज वो निराकार होकर he is boundless and limitless, but while he was in his chola, he had limitations of being a physical being. And लोगों का कष्ट लेकर वो रात भर उल्टियां करते थे, और फिर अपने तप से उसको जलाकर नेक्स्ट डे हमारे कल्याण के लिए फिर दर्शन देने बैठते थे. ऐसा गुरु हमें कहाँ मिलेगा? So again, that mindset that I had, that why is Guruji asking people to press his shoulders and hands and feet? This is the answer to that. और बहुत अच्छा लगता था जब Guruji would extend his hand and shake hands with you and say, किद्दां, या बड़ी चंगी कुड़ी है, और his sense of humor, मुंडा फसा ले व्याह करा ले. Guruji को व्याह कराने का बहुत शौक था. So और जो उनके acronyms होते थे, कोई IAS आ रहा है तो गुरुजी would say, हाँ I am sorry आ गया, या गुरुजी ये डेंटिस्ट है, BDS, बत्ती दंता दा सत्यानाश. He used to make us laugh. तो जिंदगी में रसिक वैरागी होना क्या होता है, ये हमने इनसे सीखा फर्स्ट हैंड. He never said कि आप हिमालय पर्वत में जाके बैठ जाओ और मन के फेरो. He also never said कि आप अपने गृहस्थ को इग्नोर करो. So, the fine art of balance is what we learned. And life has its own unique ways, its ups and downs. The key is learning how to accept and accept gratefully and never question his will. Because अगर गुरुजी से कुछ मांगना ही है, right? We always say that मंगो नहीं मन्नो. So अगर मांगना ही है, तो गुरुजी से ये मांगो कि गुरुजी जैसे मर्जी हो, अपनी रजा में हमें रहना सिखा दो. So and once there is acceptance, peace comes. And all of us are fighting so many battles, known and unknown, whether it's related to health, whether it's related to relationships or finances. But Guruji hai na. So instead of talking to people about your problems, sit down, connect with him, talk to him. He is real and he will find answers. He will find a way to reach out to you. Keep your direct connection. It's like getting your antenna out and tuning it to the right frequency so that you can hear directly from him. Stay away from these rituals. आजकल dime a dozen dreams, आपके लिए ये message, वो message. So, anything that is really meant for you, rely on your sixth sense. You will know. You will know what is really, really, from Guru Sahib for you. Guruji used to say, Siddhi tar jodo. Murakh ke hum das. Hum nahi change bura nahi koi. Such beautiful, few words and yet such a practical advice, right? Guruji would say, jis kisi mein mante ho, whether it's Allah, whether it's Christ, whether it's Nanak, whether it's Shiv Shankar, आराधना करने के लिए, शुक्राना करने के लिए अपनी रोज की दौड़ धूप से आप 10 से 15 मिनट निकालें. Important to have an attitude of gratitude. And with Guruji, I think the biggest blessing that I have personally received is that mindset of glass half full. So, anytime anything happens, constantly my mind tells me it could have been worse. It is like this because it's his divinity that's protecting us. So that mindset of complaining goes away. You don't say why me, because Guruji would very often say, Nanak dukhiya sab sansar aur sukhi o jo naam aadhar. So these are little things, and yet very profound, very deep, and very practical. और सत्संग शेयर करती हूँ. My favorite one is when I gave him a box of chocolates on my birthday. So कभी कभी हम गुरुजी को chocolates present करते थे. I used to see Sangat bringing little things for him. तो मेरा भी birthday था और मत्था टेक के मैंने गुरुजी को chocolates का box दिया, and I said, गुरुजी मेरा birthday है. And again, as magnanimous and as gracious as our Guru Sahib is, उन्होंने maroon juttis पहनी हुई थी और भरी संगत में he removes the juttis and he says, "ऐले चक तेरा प्रसाद." और मुझे ऐसे लगा कि उस दिन मेरे को जन्नत मिल गई. And I remember my father was right behind me in that line, and he said, "गुरुजी ये जुतियाँ ना आप इसके सर पे रख दो." And I was a little embarrassed, but that was, जैसे कहते हैं, my biggest wealth, my biggest kamai is getting that from my Guru. And then, one day when I was in college, he called. I had my dad's cell phone, तो गुरुजी का phone आया. Classes खत्म हो गई थी, हम campus में घूम रहे थे friends के साथ, और गुरुजी का phone आया और मैंने phone उठा लिया और गुरुजी कहते, की कर रही हैं? तो मैं आवाज़ सुनकर मैं समझ गई ऐसे तो गुरुजी का phone है. So I said, "Hanji, Guruji," in a more hushed, muffled tone, because I was worried कि कोई सुन ना ले. कैसे छोटा दिमाग होता है ना, that we are so worried about optics and we want to look cool in front of our friends and we don't want our friends to believe कि oh my god, ये कैसी लड़की है who in the 21st century अपने गुरु लोगों से बात करती है. So I was worried about that. So I started walking ahead and in a very hushed tone I said, "Guruji." He said, की कर रही हैं? I said, "गुरुजी मैं कॉलेज में हूँ और आज पापा का फोन मेरे पास है." Like as if गुरुजी को नहीं पता, but हमें सब कुछ बताना होता है. So I said, "गुरुजी आज पापा का फोन मेरे पास है." अच्छा, डैडी दा फोन तेरे कोल है? हाँ जी गुरुजी. तो शामी आ जाए. अच्छा गुरुजी. डैडी नु नाल लेकर आई, मम्मी नु घर छड़ कर आई. अच्छा गुरुजी. Okay. फटाफट अच्छा करके मैंने फोन रख दिया. Now by that time, I think it was 2003 maybe. By that time, Sangat, Guruji was giving darshan not all 7 days, but from Thursday to Sunday. And I remember that was a Monday or a Tuesday, so it was a non-Sangat day. Now, some people were given, specific days कि आप इस दिन आ सकते हो. Yeah, you can only come on Thursday or you can only come on Sunday. But, thanks to Guruji, for our family, there was no particular day prescribed. So all 4 days were open. So that was a Monday or a Tuesday, so it was a non-Sangat day. I picked up my dad and we went to Guruji. Guruji was sitting in the room. जो Empire State गए हैं, उन्होंने देखा होगा कि उनका दरबार अगर कुर्सी यहाँ लगी है तो पीछे करके गुरुजी का कमरा, डोर से सीधे आप उनके कमरे में जा सकते हो. So he was sitting on the couch, apne kamre ke, and I think playing with his phone or something. And we walked in, and it was just Papa, me, and a few sevadars. I think Sudama bhaiya the, Joshi uncle the, uh, and Dad and me and Guruji. So Sudama bhaiya or Joshi uncle were not in the room, and it was Papa, me, and Guruji in the room together. So Guruji, was generally talking about current affairs, I think. And I don't remember specific details because itni muddat purani ye baat hai. But I just know that that was the best evening of my life. Guruji ke liye kuch time mein drink aayi that was covered in a steel glass, upar covered, so we could not see. And Guruji took a sip and handed over the drink to me. And that was Nariyal Pani, the best tasting coconut water. Traveled the world over, never had a beverage like that. Had the good fortune of even, sipping on Guruji's chai prasad. Pressing him, traveling with him, smelling the dastwar with Guruji. Those are some of the biggest blessings that I feel I may not have deserved, but he gave it to me for some reason. And, that evening where he asked me to smell his dastwar, I don't know किस दिन के लिए गुरुजी किस सिचुएशन के लिए मुझे वो प्रोटेक्शन दे रहे थे, but वो मेरा वेल्थ है. I draw my strength from those moments that I have been able to spend with Guru Sahib. I say that often and I will say it again. Life is not a bed of roses. It never will be. Just because you feel that you have come in Guruji's darbar doesn't mean कि आप अमर हो गए हैं. Our practical guru at such a young age of early 50s left his physical form himself. जो गुरु सबको जीवन दान देता है, इतनी टर्मिनल डिजीजेस से संगत को करोड़ों में क्योर किया है. He left his physical form. Why? As an example for us, right? Nothing lasts forever. So just because we feel कि हम गुरुजी के दरबार में आ गए, इसका ये नहीं मतलब कि लाइफ में challenges नहीं आएंगे और बहुत ज़्यादा आएंगे. And we have to face it with utmost grit, determination, gratitude and faith. Faith भी नहीं, unconditional faith and acceptance is something that is going to get us through. Remember that. And see, we use these words, honesty and transparency, very interchangeably, right? So honesty, as an example, is, if I ask you a question, you give me an answer, and that's me being honest. Transparency is when I'm able to see through you. And with our Guruji, that is the gift we get, right? He puts us in the most difficult situations, whether it's personally, professionally, financially.